Hello and welcome back. Before we get into the August setup, I wanted to show you the swatch cards that I made. I recently got these new aqua markers. I found a pack of 60 for a reasonable price, and I was so excited to expand my marker collection. I also got all new microns, which I am so happy for. I previously only had a 02 and a 08 and a handful of color pens that didn't completely work. And these swatch cards are actually inspired by Nocha's Corner. She is on Instagram, and I will link her in the description as well, so you can go ahead and give her a follow. Another difference in this video and the previous ones is that I now have a microphone. It's just a little baby one, but this technically means now that I am unstoppable. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and get into my August bullet journal setup. I am listening to the audiobook My Best Friend's Exorcism as I draw this. It's a very cheesy book. I ended up rating it 4 stars, or maybe 4.5 if you wanted to check it out. It's definitely something that I wouldn't typically pick up, but based on the reviews, I had to read it. Now, I'm not entirely comfortable drawing or coloring without a reference yet. This is actually my second spread in my first bullet journal ever. I am using this journal as a way to get back into art, and I'm using a lot of reference photos in this video. I'm using the website Pexels. They are a free website with stock and royalty-free photos. I will leave a link to them in the description as well. They have such a wide variety and range of photos, and it's extremely easy to use, and I would highly recommend them. Not sponsored, just I really love them, and I appreciate that they have free photos. And for this spread, I was using washi tape in the beginning to separate out my different drawings, because that's what I see different creators do, but my paper was not entirely enjoying that, and it was leaving kind of a ripped, rugged look, so I decided not to use it at all and just kind of freehanded it from there. I really like how this spread came out. I feel like my style is more impressionistic and kind of a watercolor feel without actually using watercolors. I feel most comfortable using markers so far, but I'm hoping that I will play around with more watercolors throughout the rest of the year, and maybe I'll even post some watercolor that I do on the side on my Instagram. Speaking of which, I decided to make an art Instagram as well, just so that way I can post anything that I am working on. Again, I want to start working in watercolors or start using these markers more and just try to improve my art as I go, so that way by September I can have a feel of what really works for me. I also want to try to post something at least weekly on Instagram. I think I'll start being more consistent with all of my postings, including my bullet journals on YouTube, and maybe even start back into like updates on my reading journal as well. I'm not entirely sure yet though. I feel like this is just the wild, wild west, and I have no idea what's going on yet, but I just love making these spreads though, and I love getting back into art. It just feels so nice and natural to do this again, and I feel like I haven't drawn with markers in at least a year before I started my journals. The only downfall to using these markers is that they bleed through, and I really have to just tape down the next page to make the pages thicker. But I decided that I was just going to go for it. I wasn't going to allow myself to be stressed out about how many pages I was technically wasting, because in the end I feel like nothing was wasted, and I'm actually happy with how each spread came out. For this monthly calendar, it is very different than the one I did in July. I decided to make this square smaller and to place my habits on the monthly calendar because I now have this monthly stamp, which is so much easier, and I think this is my favorite purchase for my bullet journal so far. And on the left hand side, I decided to put an end of summer checklist. I just went through Google and looked up summer activities that we could do and put some in there. I decided to put make your own lemonade and make s'mores, do a barbecue, a water balloon fight, go for a hike, plan a picnic, stargazing, watch the sunrise, and plan a brunch. I chose activities that were simple and affordable and that still gave a summertime feel to them. And for my habits, I decided to put in exercise, hydrate, read, no spending, skincare, and clean. That way I can just go through and highlight ones on the day that I've done them. Going into my mood tracker, I had seen this post from Macchiato Clouds where she did her habits and mood on a same page and used lemons and limes and oranges as her moods. And I thought that was so cute and fitting for my spread, so I decided to do an entire page full of fruits. And for the moods themselves, I chose productive slash motivated, happy, average slash normal, sick or tired, sad or grumpy and annoyed. I'm looking forward to how this spread turns out at the end of the month and how colorful it will be. But I will post Instagram updates on it as well, maybe at the halfway mark to show how colorful it is becoming. Now on the right, we have my memories slash doodles a day. And I had seen this from Tina's Diaries. I really enjoyed it in my July spread, so I decided to put it in August as well. It just encourages me to draw every day. On the left hand side, we have my budget page. I just wrote in budget in my normal handwriting. I didn't bother to make it in the same font as the rest of the spread, which I ended up really hating, so I went through and covered it up with some scrap paper that I've cut out from my Dutch doors. Now we're getting into my weekly spreads. I really love this one as well. It says, when life gets sour, sweeten it up with gratitude. And looking back on it, I didn't explain why I'm doing fruits and herbs. I had actually asked my husband what he thought about when he thought of August, and he said cocktails on a hot August night, and I thought that was perfect. So for all of my panels, I've just did fruits and herbs that you would find paired together in cocktails, like the lime and mint you would find in a mojito, the grapefruit and rosemary you'd find in a vodka cocktail, and lemon and lavender are often found in gin cocktails. So I just went off of that but didn't put the traditional cocktail glasses. And it was at this moment that I decided that all of my August spreads were going to be beautiful. Despite it just being budget, I covered it up. And I really like how that turned out. I feel like it really complements the rest of the spread as well and doesn't stick out so much. And for my first two spreads, I put little Dutch doors in them because they can be smaller pages. I decided to give myself more room. On the left hand side from top to bottom, I have my daily gratitudes, my task section, and my habit tracker. And then on the top right corner, I have a monthly stamp. And then I have in those 7 boxes, I am going to color in a sun or a cloud or rain or things like that based on the weather for that day, and I think that'll just be a cute little thing to flip back on. And for the tabs, I decided to color them in orange, just different shades, getting darker towards the back of the journal just because we'll be going into fall and heading into September. And lastly, I am drawing in this lemon and mint just because you can see it from the front of the panels, and I just thought that this would be a good way to end these spreads. Alrighty, well that concludes my entire August bullet journal setup. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you can find out what I create in September. I am leaning towards a mushroom themed or like cottages for September, or maybe is it too early to throw in some Coraline? Who knows? Alright, bye, see you next time.